Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new soft-spoken monthly Letterboxd review, recap, wrap up, however you want to call it. I did one back in June and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming it. I skipped July because honestly, I have my laptop here. I didn't watch that many movies. The past August, I watched 17 movies, which I'm sure is not going to be a lot for some people. It's maybe going to be a lot for some of you, I'm not sure. But it was a good month, a lot of ups and downs in terms of the quality of movies that I've watched. But fun times for movies. There are some days where I watch more than one movie, and I'll explain why. August was also a month where I was mostly away, so it's interesting that I got to watch so many movies, but I'll get to that in a moment. Just before I start, let me know what you think of this background. I know I keep changing background around my house, and honestly, it's mostly usually around here in this little cozy corner of my living room. But yeah, I don't know. The lighting is clearly not the best because I'm not using natural light. But I don't know, I kind of like having the sofa here and my bookshelf. I don't know, let me know. But without further ado, let's get started. So the very first movie that I watched in August, on the 2nd of August, was There's Still Tomorrow, or C'è ancora domani. Italian movie directed by Paolo Cortellesi. I know Paolo Cortellesi as an actor. I was quite impressed by the directorial choices of this movie. I give it 4 stars, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should give it 3, but I'll explain why. C'è ancora domani follows Delia. Delia is a mother and housewife in a post-war Italy that is clearly just like struggling to pick itself up after the war, and she embodies a very traditional role for her gender. So she's a mother, she's a housewife, she is the back off of which the whole household survives, essentially. She has a daughter, and then there's a young boy, so a son. And we see her, struggle, having side jobs, and just like, again, literally being the backbone of the household, never asking for anything. And in all of this, her husband slash the father of the household is very abusive, emotionally, physically, all of it. So the story starts to unfold when her daughter wants to get married, and then also she receives a mysterious letter, and the content of the letter will be revealed at the end of the movie. So there's like it's not a plot twist, but it's just a reveal. So, big in your face feminist movie. Love to see it, but stylistically I think it was too in your face, like cartoonish, and like too, I don't know, the characters were like a caricature. Like the abusive husband is a caricature, and maybe that was a choice. I think that's why I gave it 4 stars, because I thought this is too in my face. Maybe it is a choice, right? So Delia's too nice, too submissive, never speaks up for herself. The abusive husband is too like in your face villain. I don't know. Yeah, I guess the best way I can describe it is that it felt like a caricature, but there were some fun choices in it, like visually, and for how hard the subject matter is, they still find ways to make it like light and funny. Like there were some moments of like wits and just like fun. So yeah, maybe 3.5. Let me change it now. Let's do 3.5, because again, maybe, can I not change it? Again, maybe things were done for a reason, and I'm missing that reason. But then I also think at the end of the day, I have to be realistic with how I like the movie. So let's say 3.5 stars. So the next movie that I have watched in August was Prometheus. I gave it 3.5 stars. And what to say about Prometheus? So the reason why I decided to watch this was because I knew I was going to watch Romulus. I was excited about Romulus. At that point, I had only watched Alien, yeah, the first Alien and Aliens. So I'm still missing, other movies in the franchise. Was it Alien 3, the one directed by Fincher? Yeah. And then Alien 4. Is there Alien 5? I'm not sure. But anyway, Prometheus. What to say? I really liked it. I think I gave it 3.5 instead of 4 because I think the story gets kind of convoluted and I still have a lot of questions about how the aliens are created, about the engineers. I just have a lot of questions still, and I could watch probably like one of those video essays that explain everything you've missed from the movie or whatever. But I think a movie should be good at just explaining things, just showing you things and make you understand. I think it was made the whole story was made a bit convoluted for no reason. Not for no reason, but just like for the sake of it. I'll just read you briefly the synopsis. A team of explorers discover a clue to the origins of mankind on Earth, leading them on a journey to the darkest corners of the universe. There, they must fight a terrifying battle to save the universe, to save the future of the human race. Okay, yeah. So in Prometheus, there's a lot of themes about who we are, where we're going, what's our purpose. If we, I don't know, if we can create life, like making androids, then what's stopping somebody else to have made us? All those very existential questions. So really good movie, really fun. Yeah, that's about it. Next, I'll be very quick for this one. The Bob Marley movie. What was it called? One Love. This was terrible. I'm sorry. It's very rare for me to just want to stand up and leave or turn off the telly. In this case, stand up and leave because I was watching it at an outdoor cinema actually, which was a lovely, setting. But oh my gosh, this movie was so bad. Like, I'm so sorry, it was so bad. It was just a lot of people talking, which usually I love, but I didn't learn anything from Bob Marley or about his story because all the dialogue was a bunch of just like one liner, like quotable, very wise sentences, and that was it. Like, I don't know, I just really didn't like it. It also looks so fake, like the color grading make it look so fake. I don't feel like I know much more about Bob Marley or how he was or his legacy. I don't feel like I know much more about it. The music was fun. Of course it was. Like, it's Bob Marley. I'm not a fan of reggae, but of course the music was fun. But as a movie, bad. I give it half a star. Okay, now to pick ourselves up from One Love, the next movie I watched was Seven. Seven by David Fincher. I decided to watch this because I did watch this in the past, but it was like I was probably 16 or something, so I really didn't remember much at all. I didn't even remember like the big twist, and anyway, not to spoil anything, but I didn't even remember the ending. So Seven is, in case you don't know, it's like a detective. So you have two detectives, two unlikely. How do I say it? It's just like a pair that when two characters are paired together, but it seems like they wouldn't work, but then they work because we have a very well seasoned detective and then a novice. So it's like there's a lot of wisdom here, and then there's a lot of maybe impulse and stuff. But anyway, they are investigating a series of homicides, and they very quickly figure out, this is not a spoiler, they very quickly figure out that the way the killings are happening and like what is left on the crime scene connects to the 7 deadly sins. And yeah, and then as you can imagine, the killing and the killer gets very much wrapped up with the psychology, with the psyche of the detectives, especially the novice, and things will happen and blah blah blah. But you know, ultimately, it's a very fun ride, and it's like I suppose an exploration into the human mind and the evil that we have within us. This was 20, oh my gosh, 95 Fincher, so yeah, a classic. I'm sure you've seen it before. Next we have Romulus, which if you haven't understood yet, or if you haven't got it yet, I really liked it. I know some people didn't like it because of how self-referential it was and how it was essentially like a big Frankenstein of all different Alien movies, Prometheus movies, just like all together. I thought it was done very well. I thought it was a fun ride. I thought if you have to do a prequel, sequel, remake, whatever, which we're all over it, right? Like we all want new content, new IPs, new just like ideas. But I thought, hey, if you gotta do it this way. Okay, the synopsis fails to say that our protagonists are a group of kids, and they live on a mining planet, where you never see the sun. So it's just like they live in terrible conditions, and they know of this other planet where, I don't know, things are better. I don't know, where they have light and water, and I don't know, where life is better basically. So they decide to go and get not quite a spaceship, but just like a vessel that they find on a radar. So they see that there's just like an empty vessel, if I'm not mistaken, that they can just like go and get, and then they're hoping from there to use that vessel to just go and find this planet and just escape their terrible conditions. So it's just like a very easy premise. It makes sense. It's not convoluted. It's just a group of kids that want a better life for themselves, and then they encounter things and blah 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 blah. As you can imagine, it's an alien movie, so yeah, not much else to say. To the haters, I say suck it. 4 stars. Okay, the next movie on the back of Romulus was Alien vs Predator. This was also 4 stars. This is so much fun. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so much fun. It's one of those movies. I've actually never seen any of the Predators movies. Don't come for me. But my boyfriend very quickly explained to me just like what Predator does and what their aim is and stuff like that. But Alien vs Predator, 4 stars, so much fun. What is Raoul Bava doing in there? If you're Italian, please, I mean, I'm just talking to a very small portion of people, but if you are Italian, my review is Scusa se ti chiamo Predator, the girls that get it. I'll just explain. Raoul Bava was the protagonist of a terrible movie called Scusa se ti chiamo amore, Scusa ma ti chiamo amore, where he plays a 30-something guy that falls in love with a 17-year-old. And so instead of Scusa ma ti chiamo amore, so sorry but I'll call you love, is sorry but I'll call you predator. Get it? Because he's 30, get it? And she's 17. I thought that was really clever. Anyway, yeah, fun times, 4 stars. Okay, the next movie I've seen, which was a rewatch, was Hair. A bit of backstory. Hair is one of my childhood movies. I don't know why my mom exposed me and my sister to this, but I mean, it's not the worst, but it's also not the most family child friendly movie, I guess. But I remember loving it. I remember having so much fun. But it makes sense because if you don't know, Hair is a musical about a group of hippies um, in the 60s, late 60s. And they befriend a guy that has been drafted to go to war in Vietnam. Very simple premise. He has to go in a few days, so it's just like the few days before he has to go. The things they get up to, the mischief they get up to, the dancing and whatever. It's a musical, so a lot of dancing, a lot of singing. I remember loving it because it's colorful, it's fun, it's dancing. I didn't know a word of English as a child, so for me all the lyrics were just like fun. Turns out all the lyrics are just like, a lot of the times they're like a repetition of a word or a sentence over and over and over again. That's it. Like, it's not every music. I feel like musicals have such fun, intricate songs. I'm not big into musicals personally. I like a few, and the songs are always just like so fun and well crafted for the scene, for the whatever needs to happen, the plot point. But in Hair, it's just like, I have long hair, I have long hair, I like to dance, whatever. Not a real song, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I gave it 4 stars because of the nostalgia attached to it, but really it's not that great of a movie. And I think I read the creator of the musical, like the actual musical production. I think they really disliked the movie, which would make sense. Okay, so now we get into holiday territory. So at this point in August, I am in Corfu. I'm in a lovely Airbnb in a lovely desolate town in Corfu, where every day I get my spinach pastry and I go to the beach and I just roast in the sun and swim in the sea. And again, the town is desolate, so it's very quiet and relaxing. And I was with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend and I are not party people. We're just not into drinking, so not that there was much to do in the town anyway, but we could have got a car and go somewhere, but we decided to keep it easy and chill. And so what do you do when you're chilling on holiday? You watch movies. So that's why we watched a lot of movies. And the first of these was Don't Worry, Darling. Now, I'm very grateful that I watched this way after the drama, way past the, initial reaction and all of that. Because, honestly, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Like, Harry Styles' acting is not that bad. The story has a lot of flaws, yes. I think I says 2 stars for quality, 3 for enjoyment. And by quality, I mean visually it's fun, okay? But the whole story, the whole way the plot moves, the dialogue is just not that good. Yeah, I can't tell you the plot twist because there is a plot twist, but the actual twist, the actual reason why the movie is actually quite good. Like, I really like it, and I hate when a movie has a wasted premise and a wasted concept, because it's a shame. Like, it's such a good concept that could have been developed. It could have been developed so much better, basically. So this is very much like The Matrix meets it really reminded me of that movie, The Housewives. What was it called? Yeah, The Stepford Wife with Nicole Kidman. So it's just like one of those movies where reality is not what it seems, something else is going on, blah blah blah, which I love. It's always fun. It's always fun to, I don't know, question reality and look behind the curtain and stuff like that. So yeah, 2 stars for the execution, 3 stars for the fun, maybe even 4 stars. I'm gonna say it. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it, and for that, you know, I have to. You know what? I'm gonna change it now to 3.5. Let's do 3.5. Yeah. Okay. So the next movie that I watched on holiday was The Talented Mr. Ripley. Not much to say about this. This is what, now I understand why people compared Saltburn to this, because The Talented Mr. Ripley did what Saltburn tried to do, like remotely tried to do. 4 stars, absolutely amazing. In case you don't know, the movie follows Mr. Ripley. So, what's his name? Tom Ripley, which is a calculating young man who believes it's better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody. And just like in Saltburn, he gets enveloped and he insinuates himself in the lives of some rich, wealthy people, and yeah, things happen from there. He sort of at times takes on a different persona, like he impersonates somebody else. Sometimes it's himself. It's just, you can imagine things happen and things go really wrong, really well for a time, but then really wrong. Absolutely classic, stunning. Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, and is it Jude Law? Yeah, of course, Jude Law. Absolutely great and great movie. Highly recommend. Next, a 5 star. Call Me by Your Name. I mean, what other movie would you watch on holiday in the warm August in a Mediterranean country? Call Me by Your Name is just stunning. This movie was actually filmed around a lot of areas that I know. My family lives, yeah, in those northern Italy areas, so that's always fun to see. Guadagnino, yeah, this was a rewatch. I've watched this multiple times before, and every time it's just like, it just makes you fall in love, even though the relationship is of course wrong, because Elio is only 17, but there's a reason for that. It's not done just for like shock factor or whatever. So yeah, Call Me by Your Name. Next, I have watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a rewatch from when I watched it the first time in the cinema. And I just don't really like this movie. I'm part of those people that think that this is Tarantino on steroids. This is Tarantino saying, I'm gonna do what I want to do and I'm gonna do it to the max. And this movie is gonna be overindulgent and long and whatever I want it to be. And I don't like that. It's just too much. Like, what's the point in watching an overindulgent, almost a caricature of a Tarantino movie? Like, I would rather watch the good Tarantino movies, like, one by one. I don't need to watch like essentially all of his concepts and ideas and things he loves all mashed up together for a very long movie. Like, it's just too long, and the ending doesn't feel earned at all. I don't know. I could pick apart small things about this movie, but I'm not going to because I don't have the time. But not my favorite. Still 3.5 because it's like, you can't deny that it's good. But then if I think about Tarantino's career, this is just like, ugh, we get it. You love the Western, love spaghetti Western, and we get it. You love, um, I don't know, Hollywood and in the 70s, and I don't know, It's just too much, just too much. Next was a first time view actually. I finally watched Mamma Mia. Again, we're still in Greece at this point, in Corfu, so it's only fitting to watch Mamma Mia. And not much to say about it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like, I'm not the biggest ABBA fan, but I like ABBA. And so an ABBA musical set in Greece, so much fun. Like, again, not much to say. This is just so much fun. And if you've never watched it, and even if you think you're not gonna like it, because for the longest time I thought I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna think it's just like meh. Watch it, give it a watch. Next is a strong DNF. A strong did not finish. Elvis, 2022. What to say? Baz Luhrmann. Maybe Baz Luhrmann is not for me. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna put this on on the same level as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is Baz Luhrmann being Baz Luhrmann to the max and like really ramping up his style and his aesthetic and his pacing. And I don't like it. It's too much. I know the whole point of Baz Luhrmann movies is that they're too much and they're a lot. But like, for example, I love Romeo plus Juliet. I love Gatsby. And I think those are, in a way, they are a lot and visually very appealing. But you can still very much follow the story and fall in love with characters. With this movie, I didn't finish it because it was so fast paced and so colorful and so in your face that you couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get a moment to also get to know Elvis. I barely got to know Elvis. It was just like boom, 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 scene, colors, things flashing in your face. Not my style. Too much. Too much. Just too much. Next was another rewatch of a movie that I've seen a million years ago, and that's Stand By Me, classic, 4 stars. What to say? I didn't know it was based on Stephen King. I know it's common knowledge, but I didn't know that it was based on Stephen King's The Body, which now I want to read. A short story about a group of children that embark on a mini adventure to go and find this body, this body of a dead fellow kid from school. And yeah, I mean, Stand By Me is great. I honestly can't believe how good the actors in it, which are all children, of course, I can't believe how good they are. Like, it's insane. Yeah, this is like a good Sunday afternoon movie, I would say. Yeah. Next, I rewatched the first Final Destination, probably the best one of the franchise, although I have a soft spot for the fifth one, which is the craziest one. And I also love the third one actually because of the rides, the roller coasters. But yeah, the first one is a lot of fun, purely 2000, clearly pre 9/11. In case you don't know, the Final Destination franchise is a series of movies where the protagonist somehow cheats death, and so then death has to come for him and all the people that he or she saved at the beginning of the movie. So a fun early 2000 movie, fun for the aesthetic, fun for the deaths, fun for the fashion, everything. It's just like it's fun. At this point, it's just fun, and they are cult movies in their own way. Next, a hard 1 star, and for an M. Night Shyamalan movie, it hurts my heart but this is The Happening. I love M. Night. I think he's fun, and I think some movies are unironically really good. But this one wasn't even silly and fun. This was just like silly and boring, which is very sad. In The Happening, we have a sort of disease spreading where when you catch this disease, you kill yourself. So already that's not scary to me. Like in this sort of within this genre of movies, what I find scary is, oh, there's a disease. If you catch it, you're gonna like turn into, I don't know, a zombie, let's say, and then you go and kill people. So that's scary because you have to hide from the people. But if the only victim of your killing is gonna be you, yeah, it's scary to catch it, but like it ends there. And then, spoiler, just letting you know, but having nature be the reason, like the how do I call it? Basically, nature makes people kill themselves because nature is upset because of how the state of the planet, basically. Which I guess you can work with that, but the execution is so boring. The film looks so fake. The acting is bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Zoe Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg. Is that how I say his name? But oh my gosh, especially Mark Wahlberg. There's many memes out of, from scenes from the movie because he's very memeable in this. Yeah, it's just a bad M. Night Shyamalan movie, and that makes me sad. Okay, and the very last movie I've seen in August was Final Destination 2. Give it 2.5 stars. It's not as good. It's a repetition of the first one. They tried to bring back what's her face, and she's honestly the best. What's her face? Anyway, the only survivor from the first one, which she's a stunning actress. Oh, the character is called Clear, and the actress is Ali Larter. She's so stunning. She's so gorgeous. If you look her up, I'm sure you'll recognize her from a lot of like early 2000s movies. But yeah, Final Destination 2, meh, not great. So ending the month on a bit of a lower note, but we're 2 weeks in September and I've already watched some great movies. So let me know if you'd like to see a recap at the end of September or beginning of October for everything that I've watched this month. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, comment down below something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.